Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the panel discussion on recycling titled Identifying Key Barriers and Emerging Opportunities in Oman and Bahrain. The moderator for this session is Mario Sanchez, Principal and Co-Head of MENA Sustainability at Roland Berger. An industrial engineer by education, Mario Sanchez has been passionately working on driving the sustainability efforts in the MENA region for the last 10 years. Today, he co-leads the sustainability practice of Roland Berger Middle East with a focus on the waste management and recycling industry in the GCC. Mario has been working together with the main public stakeholders and private sector players, implementing the principles of circular economy in the region, with the aim of upgrading the local value chains of the recycling sector. Over to Mario Sanchez.
Thank you, Gerhana. Thank you for the introduction. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Welcome to this panel session. Indeed, as Gerhana was introducing, we're going to be exploring, we're going to be discussing about the waste management and the recycling sector here in the Middle East, with a particular focus on in Bahrain and in Oman markets. We're going to be discussing what are the main challenges, what are the main opportunities that we have in some of the key waste streams, in some of the key recycling sectors that we have here. Today with us, we are going to have four gentlemen, four panelists that are going to be joining the discussion. At the moment, we have three. We are going to have the last panelist joining us in a few minutes, but we're going to start with the session now. Let me just introduce them quickly by name, and then each of them are going to give a quick introduction about themselves, about the work that they are doing in the sector. So we have Mr. Ivo, an Associate Director for Waste and Resource Management at Ricardo International, with a strong focus here in the region. We have Mr. Rajan, who is the CEO of Crown Industries, one of our companies in Bahrain that is focusing on metal and plastic recycling, and we will learn a little bit more as well about the activities that they are conducting in Bahrain and in the rest of the region in the Middle East. We have Mr. Sondar as well here joining us from Oman. He's a senior manager at Kimji Randas, focusing on wastewater and water treatment, and we're going to explore with him what are those challenges, what are those opportunities that we have in that particular sector. And as well, thank you, Mr. Rajat Sekar, for joining us. He's as well coming from Oman. He's a VP in Kerjas paper industry, and we will be exploring with him as well some of the opportunities and the challenges on the paper recycling industry. Maybe I give you the word, and you can let us know a little bit in 2-3 minutes about yourself before we enter into the discussion. Maybe we can start with Mr. Rajan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for organizing this wonderful event today. My name is Tyagarajan. I work in Crown Industries as CEO. Last 32 years, I am in the same company. And Crown Industries is a Bahraini-owned company. We do recycling of all one-stop shop solution for all recyclables. We do aluminum, copper, brass, bronze, nickel, stainless steel, plastic, OCC, cartons, and now the last but not the least, we have added incineration service, 2 metric ton hazardous waste incineration per hour. We do through the rotary clean system, fully SCADA controlled software, operation machineries, and it is all functioning well. We export our recycled products to Asia, Middle East, Far East, and also sometime to Europe. The electronic waste goes at present to European country and to the official smelter and the recycler of electronic waste, member of BIR, BMR, and MRAI. They handle our electronic waste because there is no facility down in Middle East to extract the valuable items. And the other item, aluminum goes to Japanese market, and iron scrap goes to India, Pakistan, and the old papers and corrugated carton goes to Vietnam and India, Pakistan market. And we are having around 450 workforce, 125,000 square meter properties we have. We have rotary aluminum melting furnace, reverberatory furnace, and the new furnace, facility also coming up. Also 5 and 12 ton induction furnace to melt the steel scrap into billet. We have then we have the plastic extruder, plastic shredder, everything in our company. And the PET scrap is the new item which we have added. Before we don't put our hand in PET. We were doing only the HDP, LDP, polypropylene, PVC, polyethylene. At present, now we added with a new facility PET scrap, and everything, alhamdulillah, going on very good. This is the background of our company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajan, for that introduction. Mr. Ivo, you can continue with your work at Ricardo.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivo Wintermans. I'm the Associate Director for Waste and Resource Management at Ricardo. I've been active in the waste management industry for the last 20 years, mostly in recycling and waste treatment of both non-hazardous and hazardous waste, of which I spent a significant part in the last 10 years in the Middle East, working amongst others for Saudi Investment Recycling Company in Saudi, and further in the UAE, but working in most of the GCC countries on different projects. That's about it for now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ivo. Mr. Sundar.
Hi, good afternoon to all. My name is Sundar Odiver Satanathan. I am from Kimji Ramadas, Muscat Sultanate of Oman. Let me introduce my company. It's a Kimji Ramadas is 150 years old company, one of the biggest group of companies and oldest group of companies in Oman. And we are into well diversified businesses. And like if you look at our business cluster, we have a consumer products cluster, infrastructure cluster, lifestyle cluster, and projects and logistics. Like well diversified business group. And in this, we are coming under infrastructure group. We are taking care of water and wastewater treatment, and we do solid waste management, partnered with Allah Khalia Environmental. So these are the product lines we handle. And when it comes to our water and wastewater treatment, we are doing many projects, private projects as well as government projects. When we talk about government projects, we are currently doing ongoing projects. Let me say a few examples. We are doing one of the water control system with Oman Water and Wastewater Services Company. It's known as, formerly it was known as Haya Water. We are doing a water control system in the pumping station in sea. That was the chemical scrubber. Due to the chemical consumption and everything, we have given the solution for the bioscrubber where there is no chemical is required. So the bacterial culture will do the job what chemical was doing. So we will be saving cost saving, not only cost saving, it is an environmental protection as well. So in terms of hazardous waste. So we are doing a water control system currently on project converting chemical to bioscrubber with higher water. And we are doing a project in Mudaibi. We are upgrading a STP from 600 KLD sewage treatment plant to 1,800 KLD. That water will be used for a mining industry. So for the used water, the water which is coming from wastewater generated, that water will be purified. After purification, this water will be used for the removal of iron and other copper ore from the mining industry. And we are doing another project currently that is with Majis Industrial Estate, Sugar Port, where that sludge treatment system we are doing. They have a central ETP, effluent treatment system, which will collect all the wastes from the nearby industries in the port authority. Like say, there is a petrochemical industries, there is a fertilizer industries, there is a methanol industry, like all industry wasters will be coming to the central ETP, and the central ETP will produce a sludge. The sludge will be go through some sludge dewatering system. After that, the sludge is, will have more moisture, say 80% moisture content, and it will not only cause nuisance in terms of odor and bad smell and septic nature, but it will cause the soil pollution also. So to avoid that, we have put stringent norms that the soil needs to be dried with the condition of less than 15 degree. So we are doing with the sludge dryer. So these are the ongoing projects, and we have done many projects in STP. So with this, I conclude now, and I introduce myself.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. And that's first view already on a few of the projects and a few of the opportunities, the challenges that you are tackling within the wastewater industry. I mean, just to finish with you, Mr. Rajasekar. I see that you are on mute. I believe you are on mute, Rajasekar. You will need to unmute yourself. Mr. Rajasekar, you are on mute. We cannot hear you. You will need to unmute yourself. I'm not sure if you can hear me as well.
Sorry, I think I'm going on talking that you people are hearing. So.
Exactly.
Now, okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. One and all.
Good evening.
Sorry for a delayed joining. As usual, IT or this sound system will give problem only when we require it.
Of course.
Whatever time we make the trial. Okay. Just a small introduction about myself and my organization, my background. I am Rajsekar. Actually, I am from India. Basically, I am a chemical engineer. I did my MBA in strategic management as well as HR and material management, EMBA. I am a Lean Six Sigma black belt trained, and I am a trained DDI leadership program by IT USA. I also a trained OSAS ISO TUE auditor, so more concerned about the sustainability and safety, health, and environment from last 20 years. So I started my career in paper industry in 91. So there are paper making. There is people used to have tell that we make paper with spoiling the environment. So exactly it was not that nowadays. Earlier it was. So now there was a lot of restriction to curtail our environment and other things. So then future slowly the process was developed in such a way to make use of the waste, whatever waste available, to make it as a wealth. So now we talking about so many waste handling, other thing or so much thing, how it has to be. But with that waste, how we have to convert into the wealth or a healthy, good product. So first, I like to tell, I was in a paper mill called TNPL. It is a bagasse-based paper mill. Earlier, bagasse is a sugarcane waste after crushing. People used to fire in the boiler, or they feel it is very difficult to dispose or handling. I'm telling 40 years back. Then we started a new patented technology to make paper with the bagasse. So the waste has become as converted into as a main product. In that bagasse, it is not my present Omani machine, or that I am not. It is will be a good useful information for people. Just I want to share it. The bagasse, while cleaning, the COD level what we will get in the wastewater will be more than 30,000-40,000. So as such, treating the wastewater of bagasse wastewater is very tough task, and even we cannot let it out as per the environment norms. So there is a process called, we started in 90s itself, a biomethanation conventional plant, which it treats and it brought down the COD level in that high concentrated backwater coming from bagasse washing to around 5,000 COD. Apart from this, we started getting empty number of meter cube of methane gas in from that. So we started using that methane gas in the place of furnace oil. So it will be replacing the furnace oil cost wise, as well as once again environmental wise, it protects the less usage of furnace oil. By that we save lot of carbon credit and we used to sell it. So what I mean to say or emphasize here, paper making is not taking the environment or forestry only. That and all earlier old golden days or that days and all over. Now people using this secondary fiber called bagasse or rice straw or so many other things which is not going to be used in the mainstream. With that,
maybe Mr. Sekar, and apologies to interrupt you, but actually maybe touching upon what you are saying now. Actually, so we just start with you, maybe looking a little bit into exactly that the recycling sector for paper in Oman.
Yeah, I am coming for that only.
A bit of the trends and your views.
I am coming for that only. So
fantastic.
The secondary fiber, which after this bagasse and rice straw, people started using waste paper. Waste paper is nothing what we used in our office, house, everything. Then it was thrown out earlier. Then to preserve the forest or trees, people started collecting. 20-30 years back and all, there was no procedure or no system for collecting the waste paper or anything. Then the necessity came. What I mean to say, why I told the background. So to avoid the cutting of the tree or any other alternate source, their necessity came. Then people started collecting, sourcing the waste paper. Now I come to my plant where I am in Oman. It is a Sogar, exactly. This is the first paper mill in Oman. This is a brainchild of my MD, Mr. Abdullah Al-Hosni. He is a young entrepreneur, first generation entrepreneur who is only 28 years age while he is thinking of this. He thought, why this much of waste is there in Oman? Why we should, it is contaminating the thing, and why can't we support this and make some good business to the people as well as for the country? So this is one of the brainchild of my MD, which was done in Oman. Okay, now I come into the actual point. Then we started all across the Oman, from Salala to Sogar, Souk, Barka, Muscat, all the places. We have our own collection center. We started. We kept the collection points. Example, if you go for a Lulu, we have a tie-up with them. If you go for a Nesto, we have a tie-up. Then slowly, last 2 years, we started collection with apartments, other areas, everything. So instead of wasting that paper, now the people making money out of that first. Any environment thing which is not going to be a commercial benefit for a common man, it will not be a long lasting, or it not going to be a sustainable. So whatever I can do as a service, I can do once in a while. But if it is going to be a commercially beneficial, it will be going to be good for environment, as well as people will be focused more on that. So once we started this commercial collection points, so now we started getting around 8,000 tons of waste paper inside Oman. Okay, now what I am doing with that waste paper. So all the waste paper we are collected, we are segregating, we are removing the plastic separate, steel separate, everything. The steel, once again, we are selling it as it is price. It is getting a scrap price. It is a very good demand is there. Then plastic, just before our Mr. Tyagarajan are telling, there is a plastic shuttering and other thing they're using. So this waste plastic, we can pyrolysis and use it to generate oil from that, which can be used with the mixed coal tar. And for road laying, that oil or that furnace oil like coal tar oil can be used. So for this, we will be getting my end product as a oil, as well as that waste plastic also utilized in a proper way without affecting my environment. If suppose somebody is firing as it is, that will create a lot of CO2 and CO, and it will pollute. So by the system, as Mr. Terence had told, the incineration or this pyrolysis, or there is a separate type of boiler to fire this by taking all the smelt as well as that the CO in the ESPN, everything was there. These are the three types of thing which the waste plastic can be converted. Now coming to my main source of raw material, that waste paper, that we will be cleaning, we will be taking and washing everything. Then that is a different scenario. It is a paper making process. I don't want to get into that much. So we are making this waste paper as a wealth or usable good product. And now in Oman, particularly as we are talking about GCC and Oman, we are able to fulfill the market of Oman by collecting this waste and giving back a fresh, new, brand new packing grade paper around 66,000 tons per month in Oman itself. And GCC we are sending, in Bahrain we are selling around 1,000 ton. For Saudi we are selling around 2,000 ton, and in Dubai we are selling around 2,000 to 3,000. Apart from this, we are selling to Europe like Malta, Switzerland, and Turkey. In Asian side, we are selling to Sri Lanka as well as Bangladesh. So here, still there is one point has to be focused, or people can utilize this opportunity. Still, there is around 5,000 to 6,000 tons of waste paper collection is available. That is going unnoticed, uncollected, like landfill and other thing. This is a big business as well as big useful
still a big
for the
opportunity
environment
there.
thing. That's all, sir.
Fair enough.
It's a
No, thank you very much, Mr. Rajasekar, for describing and giving this very informative overview of actually the process and some of the opportunities that we find in the paper recycling business in Oman. And maybe indeed going to Mr. Rajan, that was as well raising his hand. Maybe Mr. Rajan, would you like to also comment a little bit on your views on what is the current recycling landscape of the plastic and metal business sector in Bahrain? And maybe we can talk a little bit about the integration upstream with the waste management players, and also downstream on how you are putting back those materials back in the industry.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a wonderful explanation given by Mr. Rajasekar. And I would like to have a question to Mr. Rajasekar about the paper. Is it called a craft paper? Is it usable in food grade or industrial use? What is the product your company manufacture?
Yes, sir. Ours is a craft grade or board, whatever they used to tell. It was used in packaging carton boxes. Our paper is well treated and manufactured. We had a little before Mr. Sundarodi will also talked. We have a very good ETP treatment, and we take all the waters and all the VFA in the water, and the treated water we are making as a zero discharge. So ZLD 100% recycling. But now coming to your question, my paper is 100% usable in food grade as well as industrial grade. My paper going for cotton box making. From that cotton box, people are selling apples, or people are exporting fishes, all kind of food grades can be packed, and ours is a specialized FSC certified mill. Forest Stewards of certification, we have a special thing. So it was made without polluting my forest, as well as it can be used in my food grade.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now I take my time to give explanation about our company products. We are doing both ferrous and non-ferrous, which are our main activity. The ferrous scrap, light steel, heavy steel, cast iron, galvanized iron, all type of scrap steel we process and categorized as per ISRI specification. Institute of Scrap Recycling Industry issued a guidelines and specification. Based on that, we export our scrap steel. As I said earlier, we do melting of aluminum scrap, aluminum telic, tin, stained rubber, birch, everything. We sort it and we melt. We make it briquettes, and the briquettes are melted in the rotary tilting furnace, 10-ton and 7-ton furnace. We have the furnaces are all connected to the scrubber system, de-dusting system. There is no smoke or no dust. We cast into 500 kilo aluminum saws, because 20 kilo ingot will take time to drain from the furnace. So we put it in the saws mold. Each block will be 500 kilo. These aluminum saws are exported regularly to Japan and Korea, and sometime to India, Pakistan market. But 85% goes to Japan and other Far East market. And also we melt a steel scrap into billet. Those billets are sold in Saudi Arabia, also in India, Pakistan, Sri Lankan market. Then we have brass, copper. In copper, about 15 grades are there. In brass, around 7-8 grades, popular grades are there. These are all we export very regularly. And then zinc we export, cable lead we export. We participate in a lot of government tender, big, large tenders, and we bring the scrap and segregate and recover the materials and export them as per international category all over the world. And we are ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001. Quality, environment, and health and safety. And also we undertake a lot of demolition contract. Recently, we won one contract with the Bahrain government for decommissioning a big electricity plant, electricity and water authority, circulated. We win the tender. It was 3-month assessment, and we did a very good job. We won the tender. Now also there and then various shed dismantling items we are focusing, and we enjoy very good reputation in the world market.
Very good. Maybe Mr. Rajan, exactly on that point, would you like to elaborate a bit on what are basically some of the challenges, some of the opportunities that you see on integrating with basically, as you're saying, the waste management part, on how to actually source those contracts, those opportunities into the recycling industry?
Yeah, the aluminum concern, on daily pay basis, so many expatriate freelancers are bringing the material procured from small company, from the retail sources, and they bring to us. Then we take it to the weigh scale, make the weight, and we pay them. And this is the taxi business, we call it. Then we get a call from various companies. Our purchase team goes and see the material, give them inspection, and give them a lump sum quote or tonnage price as per the request of the customer, seller. Then we win and we bring the material. Then the little bigger one is one of on-spot tender. There is a project, there is a surplus stock, which are all called by the company. Many European companies, they come and do the project, and the leftover and surplus, they call spot tender. We quote to them, and whoever winner they give, we win very regularly because we have good expertise and the physical identification and the international pricing. All we know, we do. We have a very able, competent crew with us. Then another system is a short-term contract, 3-month, 6-month contract with various companies, aluminum melting company, aluminum extrusion company, aluminum coil manufacturing company, and all. We take the contract. Then the biggest contract is long-term contract, that is from Aluminum Bahrain, Alba. We are providing every 2-year renewable contract for their waste, and we do the waste management. They are generating aluminum, iron. We put about 10 trailers and 7 JCB loaders, 2 grapple machine to lift the material. Day by day, material loaded from Alba site, brought it to our yard. Then also we have a contract, running contract with Bahrain refinery. You must be hearing Bahrain refinery revamping project, BMP they call it, BAPCO modernization project. And we win a contract. It is about 15 million dinar. That Omani is 15 million riyal. That lifting job is going on. We put, about 25 trailer, grab machine, lifting equipment, everything. We bring them very safely. The safety record is very important for the scrap business because it is very, very dangerous. And we carefully bring ISO 14001 for environment and 45001 for health and safety is really very helpful for us to prevent and stop the accident. And we bring the material to our yard, we sorted it, and we have a Lindemann shear machine, which is 1000 ton force. We share it according to the size we set in the PLC system, load in the container, export to Far East, India and Pakistan market. And also we bring other non-ferrous from those big companies like a cable. We have a cable granulator, we have a cable stripper. We strip and remove the cable, pack them nicely in jumbo bag, export abroad. And many other items goes in the same way.
Perfect. No, thank you very much for that, Mr. Rajan. And so I think now we've, thanks to Mr. Rajasekar and your intervention, now we have a good view on basically the paper recycling industry in Oman and the metal and aluminum recycling industry. But let's take the opportunity before we talk about wastewater with Mr. Sundar. I would like to ask you, Mr. Ivo. So we've been listening basically from 2 private sector companies that are working hands-on on the ground in the paper and plastics and metal industries. What would be, if now for the audience, for those investors as well from international parties, what are from your point of view, what are the largest investment areas, the largest opportunities that we can find across the recycles, so the plastics, the paper, the metal industry in the Middle East?
In general, and this is also coming back to what's been discussed earlier in the session, is that if you talk about recycling, and that's also quite typical for developing waste management industries in countries such as Bahrain and Oman, is that the industry, the recycling industry itself, focuses on waste streams that already have a positive value. And then typically you would think about plastics, metals, and paper and cardboard. And they constitute only roughly about, say, 10 to 50% of the total waste management, waste volume. So if you look on the other side on other waste streams that are recyclable, such as organic waste, such as certain other waste streams, tire waste, for example, that area still has not developed. Also, because they are highly driven by regulations and enforcement, and there needs to be funding or a financial structure in place for those specific markets to be interesting for investors. So if you look at the current state of the market, the opportunities would be in those recyclables where there's already competition around, and we've got a number of companies on the call. But the market itself is a lot larger, but developing that specific market in terms of composting, in terms of pyrolysis, in terms of even waste incineration, that requires a strict regulatory framework, and even more important, the enforcement of that regulatory framework. Which is something that will take some time to fully mature, but those are definitely markets potential investors need to keep an eye on, because they will be the larger markets in the future, because no one is currently active in those markets for understandable reasons. And the markets that are currently interesting are already sort of more or less developed in such a way.
Indeed. No, and thank you for giving us that perspective. And maybe we take the opportunity now to shift from the gears, and we're gonna look into the wastewater market. And maybe with Mr. Sundar, would you like to give us a bit of an overview? What are your views on the latest developments, the latest achievements, and what are the opportunities that we have in the wastewater market, and maybe focusing in Oman, the market where you're working?
Yeah, as for Oman, wastewater standards are in line with the international standards. I can say that it is at par with the US EPA standards, Environmental Protection Authority. They set the discharge norms for wastewater, and accordingly the government put in norms and Omani standards. We call it Oman standards as per Oman law, and it is Class A, and we categorize two types of discharge norms, like waters. So Class A and Class B we see. So the waters are high quality waters which are coming out from the STPs. In the central Muscat region, if you look at the islands of STP, they have MBR technology. So most of the cases and specifications itself, the new tenders comes with the high tech equipments. Say if it is for STP, it comes with the MBR technology or MBBR or SBR. They are very sophisticated technology when compared with external aeration or conventional methods, I can say. The same way for when it comes for industry, industrial water demand is something different and unique. Each industry, we need a different types of water. So to meet that parameters, we have to check what is the real customer's requirement. Accordingly, the design has to be done. So for example, like when you run a projection for our plant, we have a software. We use the design software to select the right membranes. In terms of whether it is like, suppose if you take some big salty water to treat, like accordingly we design. So the output quality depends on the customer requirement. So when for example, like the customer want a water for the boiler, so accordingly the norms are set and the water quality has to meet. So like it has to go through the series of process. For example, if it comes from STP, the STP treated water can be used for any industrial application. It can be used for boiler. It can be used for cooling tower, makeup water. So, but yeah, what it required for boiler, it needs a soft water. So it has to pass through like EO followed by RO, and then like multimedia filters and softener. Then the water will be going into the boiler feed tank, and then it goes to the boiler. But when it comes for cooling tower, again same process, but the parameters are different. Okay, so it can be equal to the municipality norms, the TDS and all. No need to be like completely zero soft water or something. That the TDS will be different in RO. So like as I told, we are maintaining the international standards in terms of water quality. And when it comes for Oman achievement part, for example, okay, Oman is the country much stands better when compared to the neighboring countries, say like UAE or Saudi or Qatar. In terms of geological positions, it has got its own beauty and nature, and the rainfall is more, and it has got natural wadis. Natural wadi means like we like, okay, in Egypt we have a Nile River, in India there are rivers, but if you look at in Middle East, there are no rivers. But Oman is the country you can see wadis, natural wadis, because of the mountainous terrain. The rainfall is little more, and we even face we had to face flood. It will wash away the cars, like you might have seen in the newspapers and things. Okay, so in terms of storm management and other things, we are going well advanced now, and yeah.
Maybe just one question. You were mentioning about the standards and about technologies. What are the actual technologies that for wastewater that you're using today in Oman, and some of the technologies that probably you're looking into? Or
as I told you in the beginning, okay, the well sophisticated technology. If you talk about, okay, for wastewater means like there are two types of wastewater we treat. One is sewage treatment plant, which is the domestic waste which has been collected from all the houses or households or labor camps, whatever the waste comes out, or army camps, whatever, like, you know, the water will be collected and it will go in the networks. So the Oman is basically 80%, the vision of 2020, basically they want to connect a network, all the houses, you know, through the common sewer network. So that will go to the nearby city sewage treatment plants, and where all the sewage will get treated. So as I told you, like Alan Sabah's got big MBR plants, and the outskirts, they have a small plants across, like based on the village and the number of peoples, they have different technologies. But again, now the government is going with the PPP concept, like, you know, they promote like private partnership projects, like, you know, the fund will be done by private, and the government funds will be, like, you know, the projects will be done accordingly. So like say for 40 years they lease to a private company, and then it will be owned back to the government sector, for example, I'm saying. So there are the norms, like accordingly the water regulations are at par with the international standards. Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. No, thank you for that. Thank you for qualifying on that. And I know we're running out of time, but I would like to ask Mr. Ivo one more question. As your work in the region takes you actually to work among different countries, and again, companies from the private sector, companies from the public sector, the ministries, authorities, do you see a room for actual collaboration across borders? Collaboration between countries, of course, between Bahrain and Oman, and maybe among other countries within the GCC. What are your views on that?
Yeah, see, in terms of business, if you look at like it's we depend on neighboring countries the same way. It's like vice versa. They take some products which are available in Oman, and some technical expertise or some products we also depend on UAE market the same way. We cater to Qatar, we cater to Bahrain. So yeah. Technically, we are, like the industrial sector is growing here, and I'm witnessing that Oman is, going to be a country who can supply the industrial products or equipments to the neighboring country also. The manufacturing setup